Hello everyone, this is Jay Jordan for Marketing 365 Consumer Behavior, and today I'm going to talk to you about reference groups and how our physical and social environments can affect our behavior. So the first thing for reference groups, and reference groups are the actual or imaginary individual or group conceived as having significant relevance upon an individual's evaluations, aspirations, or behavior. Or basically, the people around you affect how you behave. And whoever you see, that's who you will be influenced by. And so, what are some of the visible things that make you have this identity? And so some things that identity is reinforced by are visible symbols, things that represent the group and how they behave, icons, things that demonstrate the ideals or the methods in which people work, and then even geographic topography in how the city is shaped or how the environment plays a part in setting parameters in how people interact with each other. And both these physical things that we see, but then also intangible things that we might not be aware of, can reinforce or even shape our behaviors. And for us as marketers, we must be aware of what these dynamics are and what is at play when these things occur. And so if we're aware of these things, then as consumers, what I have found is that consumers can then choose their reference groups. Yet if we are unaware, or if regions or cities are unaware of these different conditions, then we end up being passively shaped by this environment, and then whoever else is around us, those become our reference groups. And so just as an example of this, we have talked about if anyone of you have taken the Intro to Entrepreneurship course, you might know how we talk about finding target markets. And one thing with the PRISM studies by Claritas is they have identified that even as granular as specific zip codes have distinct consumer segments, which I'll go into in depth in a little bit. So here you can see the zip code for Ypsilanti, 48197, and there are specific types of people here that Claritas has pointed out and identified. Some of them which include boomtown singles, city startups, country squires, God's Country and New Beginnings, some which are relevant to graduates from Eastern Michigan University or other places, or even Ann Arborites who have moved out into places where there's a lot more space. But then you also have some of the the hipsters or the other types of Bohemians who enjoy the lifestyle of Depot Town and of Riverside Park. And so for the last half of this presentation, I will just show you some pictures that I've personally been able to take in the trip that I've been on for the past week in San Francisco. I've read a lot about this city, and I've begun to study these things. I'm also a sociology minor, and I have learned a lot of things and experienced visceral feelings of what people there experience, and I would just like to share some of those firsthand. So now we're going to investigate what is it like when people are conscious of their values and of what they want to see in their reference groups, and what it looks like in this day and age where social media and other avenues of communication allow us to see, identify, and then move to these different places. And from Chapter 11, Learning Objective 2, this goes along with the concept that we seek out others who share interests in products and services. So first of all, we're attracted to those like us. It's pretty natural. We like people that are friendly. That's why we always smile when we greet people, etc. But even deeper than that, if we look at the reason why people moved, of the 11.7% of Americans who moved in 2013, by far the largest reason people moved is for housing. The second for being closer to family, and then lastly, but not least important, for employment, for jobs, where we find a lot of our identity and a lot of our agency in society. And also from Richard Florida's 2010 book, Who's Your City, he was quoted as saying and showing statistics that in 2000, for example, more than two-thirds of the residents of downtown Chicago and midtown Manhattan held college degrees, levels that are more typically seen in advantaged suburbs. Many older industrial cities, suburbs, and outlying rural areas are being left behind. And his thrust here is that when you think of downtown, you think of dilapidated industrial centers or maybe homeless people who can't afford nicer homes. But there's been a great larger trend that he has noticed and others are observing of new younger generations moving into urban areas and cities. And recently, researchers at the Carnegie Mellon University in Pennsylvania have used the ocean personality types and mapped them to specific regions in the U.S. using data available from Gallup polls on the Wellness Survey and other forms of just general indicators on how Americans are feeling in the United States now. And what they have found with the ocean personality types here, with each map specific to one aspect of the ocean types, you can see that there are clusters in different regions, which are all different. A couple regions overlap in different areas, but by and large, there are different personalities for different cities. And so what I will show you with images here will be for the region of San Francisco, specifically the greater Bay Area, which I've found to be open to experienced people, have a large concentration here, and which plays into its growing boom and its growth because of willingness to innovate or to explore or to try new things. So the first neighborhood is the Castro District. It's a neighborhood in San Francisco as part of the city. It is along their Central Market Street, and it was a center for homosexual rights in the 1970s where a lot of gays and lesbians moved to because they could band together. And then after a long series of injustices and different trials, they were able to band together and eventually win rights. And since then, their solidarity has been reinforced through different symbols of flags and also the visible amphitheater-like topography that creates a great environment in which they can all see each other and being reinforced of their identity. And then the second neighborhood is the Mission District, which is a neighborhood south of San Francisco, and this is where a concentration of Mexican immigrants have come to historically, in the same vein as Chinatown, and where they have reinforced their identity is through art that is visible to everyone on the streets, and also through the types of food that is served and that's available to them. Here we have an art piece that was a blend of ancient Aztec cultures in style, but then also blended with a new variety of urban graffiti, which which ties in together the roots of Hispanic culture with the new synergy of new urban centers such as San Francisco, and then also we have here more art that ties together a more recent history of Mexicans in the city of San Francisco, dealing with other injustices with police or with other forms of oppression and legislation from the city, which even just 1 and 2 generations out is a way that reinforces the identity of Mexican immigrants and Mexican heritage in this city. So in summary, I found that it's depending on neighborhoods and depending on locations, there are lots of different reasons and different forces indicating how people engage with each other and with their environment. And as marketers, it's important that we understand those different dynamics at play as we step into them and offer our products and whether they're compatible or not with those surrounding environments and the people that we'd like to reach. And on a larger societal level, there's another book that I've read called The Rise of the Creative Class, which talks about this divide of people who know their values and are moving to these places, and then people who are unaware, and what kind of opportunities can be given them. And it's important that I think that with the products that we create and that we offer, that we must ensure that our borders, both physical and cultural, remain open, and that we do not waver on our commitments to diversity, and that we should also commit ourselves to ensuring access to full opportunity and unfettered social mobility for all, and noting that obstacles and barriers are not only morally problematic but economically counterproductive. And just really, all of these cultures that I experience and that I continue to see, both in Michigan and abroad, they're all great. They all have different special things about them, and that with what we offer, we shouldn't just cater to specific people, but we should be able to make them open, accessible, so that everyone can enjoy them and everyone can make use of them and see the world the way that we do. Thanks, and hope you learned something, and hope you guys have a great rest of your summer. Bye.